What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Game Boys. I am your host, Colonel and most handsome dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and pocket poppy, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. What's going up, my man?
What's going up, my dude? It is finally time. We are finally back.
We're finally back. We
did. Saddle, back on top.
We did the thing. We made it. We survived
what
the holidays.
What a good feeling. We made it.
Took a little bit of a break, as we typically do. Just this year, we didn't really get to announce it because we kind of called it early. I don't even remember what happened.
Things happen.
I don't remember what happened. It was something cat came up, but it was one of those things where like, oh shoot, it's not gonna work. All right.
I remember us being like, oh, should we do something? Should we do like an end of the year show to just be like, all right, see you guys later for the year? And you were like, yeah, let's do it. And then it just never happened.
It didn't happen. I mean, it's one of those things where you have great intentions going into the holidays. Like, oh yeah, it'll be chill. I'm going to be able to do this, that, and the other thing, all this time. And in reality, there's no time. It's all busy with family and friends and good stuff. Don't get me wrong. But there was a couple times I was like, oh, I should reach out to Adrian to do that. And then it would just gone out of my brain because a million other things also were going on. So it didn't happen.
And then your aunt and uncle that you only see twice a year, they're like, hey, Garrett. And then you lose track of time.
Yeah. But we're here now. And I feel like tonight's going to be a little bit of that. We'll talk about it more in a little bit here. We're going to still be able to talk about some gaming from the previous year. Yeah, man, how's it going? How was your holidays? How's Christmas, New Year's?
It was good, man. When I sit back and kind of think back over it now, it was a lot busier than I originally remember it being. Just a lot of like get-togethers, and I feel like I was going around a lot, just seeing, friends and family that I hadn't seen in a long time, or going to events, or shopping, Christmas shopping, just the whole nine. I don't know. It felt like every day or every weekend that, we had availability, there was something scheduled, some event, something, whatever. So my break was pretty chock full, I feel like. And then, all the way up until, God, I guess after New Year's. And then it finally actually started to calm down. So the time that I was supposed to use to relax did not do that. And I feel like you have the same story.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on. Very busy, but even though I didn't necessarily get to lay down and lounge for 2 weeks and actually just take naps in the middle of the day and stuff, it still was a good time, with Christmas and New Year's. The only funky thing with my job, we got Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, which meant I went to work Monday and then had 2 days off in the middle of the week and then back Thursday, Friday. That was wild. That was super weird. And then the next week was the same with New Year's. I had to work Monday, Tuesday, but then I got Wednesday off and then back Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
What a weird couple of weeks of work. But it was nice, as much as we love hosting. As much as we love doing the show, it was kind of nice not to have, that responsibility for a few weeks where it's like, oh, Monday nights are free and I don't have to stay up until 1 a.m. doing editing and uploading and stuff. I could actually just get normal sleep. Let me tell you, work goes a lot smoother on Tuesdays when I get sleep. That's for sure.
I bet.
But it's fine because we have an espresso machine now for Christmas. My wife got a new espresso machine, so that's been fun to learn and use.
You mean your family got a new espresso machine?
Yeah, I mean, it's for her. It's for my wife. But
yeah, well.
But I've been enjoying the fruits of it. That's for sure. I went from being barely ever drinking coffee. Not that I don't like it. I just I don't need it. I don't run on it. you know, and maybe having a cup of matcha in the
Never
morning
have.
too.
That's the ticket right there.
So I would usually have a cup of matcha every morning, but now with this thing, it's been dangerous because it's like, oh, it's fun just to like, oh, let's try these beans. Ooh, let's try to make this. Let's do that. There's a little frother thing on there. So I'm like, oh, let's see if we can make a little cappuccino or something. I'm like, oh no, this is not good. I've had more coffee the last 2 weeks than I have.
And then you know what? You're gonna get to a point. It's like, why don't we make it a double?
Oh, we're already doing double shot. We jumped right to
okay, all right, superstar. Excuse me.
We went straight to full on coffeeholic over here. You know, I'm all in. But it's been good. It's been good. I'm happy to be back though. It's good to be back here on the show, talking about video games, hanging out with you. Even just jumping as soon as you like called and. You know, like at 7 when we first jumped on the call, I was like, that feels good. It feels good to be back here.
It feels familiar.
Chilling.
It's good to be back.
Chilling with Adrian. But yeah, as I alluded to earlier, today we're going to be talking about video games we missed out on last year and ones we're looking forward to this year. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Crimson and Bumple Smash, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates, Mama Mare, Carrie, and David Matthews. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1 each and every month gets you perks such as episodes early and ad-free, like this show, as well as access to Patreon exclusive shows like Super Later Boys. There's episode 6 out there. Who knows? Now that we have like a few weeks under our belt, well, really a few months. It's been a few months since we did that last episode.
Been living some life.
We should do some another Super Later Boys at some point. We should get that on the calendar.
I'm game. Very game.
And but we'll talk more about our Patreon later on the show. I do want to give a huge shout out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on our show. Unfortunately, if you're listening or watching on the live stream on Monday night, you're not going to hear anything because my Apple Music is crap in the bed. I don't know why they don't make a better app for PC, but here we are.
I don't know. I can't tell you. All I can tell you is the grass is definitely greener over here, brother. Works like a charm, but it's also built in, so.
Yeah. But if you're listening on podcast later and on YouTube, you will hear some music, and it should be one of those artists. It should be Jack Sriracha and Yate. But if not, all the links are down below. DJ Trooz, Jack Sriracha, Yate. Find them on Apple Music. Find them on Spotify. They're amazing. Show them some love. All right. And with that, let's jump into the meat and potatoes here. Because it's not time to check.
We can keep going. I need to plug in my camera. I'm still here, though.
Okay.
So, keep going.
Still here.
I'll be right back.
All right.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Oh, shoot.
I'm still here.
Oh, no. My face is so big.
Still here.
My face is so big. It takes out both screens.
Hang
on. Massive. For you audio listeners, like, what is he talking about?
Keep talking. You got a vamp. I need to get a cable.
It's fine. Can you hear me, Adrian? Because I can just read the question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and start reading this question from Ranger. This is great. Ranger's Weekly Bite is back. Boys, it seems that people mainly file games into 3 categories: their backlog of owned games, shelved games, or dropped games. I would argue that for me personally, I have 4 categories I consistently struggle with: the backlog, shelved games, dropped games, and my mental backlog of games that I haven't even purchased yet, haven't even come out, or free games to try. Oh, the backlog. An example of games on my backlog list would be, for some reason or another, and for some reason or another has been on my mind as of late, is The Order 1886 on PS4. Never played it, but read about it from time to time, and I want to play it, at least play for the history of it alone. Shelved games. Well, an example of a shelved game at the moment would be Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I probably played through half the game, really enjoyed it, but it slipped away, and I do plan on continuing it again at some point, perhaps my retirement, but that isn't anytime soon. Dropped games. An example of a dropped game would be, and I know it may be controversial, but Neon White. I'm not really the time trial kind of guy, but I always give any game a chance to see if I can get it, if it can get its hooks in me. Maybe it was just that moment in time, but I moved on. Mental backlog. I don't own Silent Hill 2, Warhammer Space Marine 2, although I did purchase and play through the first game on my 360 before the storefront closed in July. The Plucky Squire, Free Game, Infinity Nikki, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, or any recent Like a Dragon that haven't even come out yet. So those are all mental backlog games where he doesn't own them, but he wants to play them. All right, boys. Your question/challenge for this week is to provide at least one personal game from each category: the backlog, shelved, dropped, and mental backlog. Feel free to contribute more than one, but know you are charged with this task, and the amount of putting resin under your fingernails will truly determine your overall effectiveness. Oh my gosh.
Resin?
Pudding resin. Oh my god.
Oh, pudding resin. Okay. I missed that part.
Yeah. I wonder if he meant residue. Either way, resin, residue. It doesn't sound great. P.S.
I was gonna say same difference.
Same difference. P.S. I'm halfway through A Man on the Inside with Ted Danson on Netflix. It's kind of a refreshing comedy and something you could watch with your spouse, family members. Enjoying it. My wife won't watch most, if not all, of the shows I'm into. Well, I haven't heard of that one, but Ted Danson. I'm trying to think. He's a guy.
Notable thing. I think he was in The Good Place.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He was on Good Place, right? That didn't click with me. My wife really liked The Good Place, but I watched a few episodes here and there, and I was just like, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. It was a little too silly. I don't know.
You are a serious man, so that tracks.
I like fun and silly, but I think like the whole like premise of it even was just like, all right, this is too wacky for me. I don't know. I didn't stick with it. I know it's probably a pretty decent show, but it wasn't for me. But I'm sure. I have never heard of A Man on the Inside. I'll have to look that up. So Adrian. Do you have some games for us? Do you have the backlog, a backlog game, a shelved game, a dropped game, and then a mental backlog game? Share as many or few as you want. We can kind of go back and forth if you want. But
let's see, a backlog game.
While you're speaking, I'm going to take a bite of this delicious key lime pie.
No, have at it. A backlog game is a game that I have not started, correct? But it is one that I am going to play. I think this is kind of cheating because I played the demo, but it's not the actual game. And I have it as part of my list that we'll talk about in when we get to the main topic later. But it's Pepper Grinder. Pepper Grinder I had a blast with the demo. Picked it up recently in a winter / whatever kind of sale that they had on the eShop. And it is on my list to get to. It's one of my games that I'm planning to play this year that I missed. So that would probably be my first in that category. The dropped game, and this one is going to break a lot of hearts, and it kind of broke mine a little bit too.
Oh boy.
My dropped game was the Plucky Squire.
Oof. Really?
Yeah.
Not shelved, dropped. Like you're done with it. You're like, not for me. I don't want to put any more time.
Well, I feel like I might be a little hasty on that one, but I don't know. It just felt like a little, like it's a gorgeous game. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. And I can feel that it's well made. And how should I put it? It kind of gets in your way a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
I feel like I heard some of the things from some of the reviews. Like it almost like doesn't trust the player enough. So it's almost like
yes,
too,
that's it.
Like hand-holdy.
It's very hand-holdy. It's very like we have to stop when we need to introduce something to you and break it down and show you how to do it. And then, And then also a lot of the story beats, I can't like I get it that they're reading it to you like it's a storybook, right? But like I'm also an adult, so let me just like read and flip and enjoy it at my pace so that I can get back to the game. But yeah, just those transitions are really slow, and they really and this is coming from somebody who loves a good cutscene.
Yeah.
But it just really kind of bungles the flow of the game for me when and they happen pretty frequently too. So it's like, all right, let me lock in for another, chapter explanation of the story. Yeah, I don't know. All that kind of put together is like, I just want to play the game, and the game is doing too many things to stop and slow down the flow for me that I'm like, let's see what has to happen now. Like once you give me the gist of it, then you just add the other stuff on top. I get you slowing things down to show me how the main core of the game works.
Right.
But like now that you're just adding abilities, nine times out of 10, yeah, I'm a gamer, I can figure it out. But if you're gonna put that kind of stuff in there, make a different difficulty or a different mode section for it. Like I think they even had one, the ones that are like no difficulty, like I just want to play the story or something like that.
Yeah.
Like put that stuff in there,
Yeah.
So
Interesting. Yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know, maybe one day I'll get the itch to like go back and do it, but I
power through the rest of it.
And that's not even really shelved. Maybe it's a hard shelf, not a drop.
Okay.
I think I'll put it in there. It's a hard shelf.
So it's like dropped with an asterisk on it.
Yeah.
Might go back if the mood.
Might go back. My shelved is obviously, and this is not a negative, it's Final Fantasy 16. I got to get back to it. I will get back to it. It is on my list to play this year.
Yes.
Me in that game, I feel like we've just been two passing ships in the night, and I don't know. I just really need to sit down and commit and play it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Rebirth. I'm waiting for Rebirth, even though I don't need to. I'm waiting for Rebirth to get like a hefty sale, like if it ever hits like a $44.99. Somewhere in that category.
I mean, it's coming out on.
I'll buy it at full price. I'm sure it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's coming out on PC soon. Like I think in the spring/summer. So I wonder if there'll be like just some like big announcement sale, like hey, it's on PC. It's also cheaper other places. I don't know. They might try something like that. I feel like they've done it before. So yeah, you might get lucky with that. But Rebirth was so good.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, Rebirth is definitely on my to playlist, but like my to playlist is definitely Final Fantasy 16. I need to get that one under my belt so I can say that I can continue like, yep, I've played all the Final Fantasies there are, you know what I mean?
Soak7 in the chat says January 23rd. I didn't realize it was so soon. I thought it was like spring or summer, but
that is coming to PC?
Apparently it's coming to PC later this month, so keep your eyes peeled. Maybe.
So fingers crossed. Yeah. I can add Rebirth to the list. Yeah, so that's my shelved. That's my dropped. That's my backlog.
So you've said just to recap. So you've done Final Fantasy 16. You've done Plucky Squire for dropped, and then what was your backlog?
Pepper Grinder was my backlog. Right. And then my mental backlog, run that one by me one more time, the description.
Mental backlog, a game that you really want to play, it's on your, but you don't actually own. So like Rebirth would be one of those for you technically, because it's like, it's on your list. It's a backlog game.
Slot that in there.
Yeah, that's a backlog game, but you technically don't own it. Like usually when you see someone says backlog, it's like, all right, I have all these games I've bought and haven't finished yet. But a mental backlog, I think the idea is like, oh, I have every intention to play it, but it's not actually in my library yet.
Yeah, no, I guess that would be top of the mental backlog. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, would be Rebirth.
Cool. For me,
you're up.
For backlog game, I had 2 games on here. I had a more modern game and then a game from the past. Only because I was recently reminded that I haven't played it, and I was reading an article or something, and they were talking about like how great this game is. I'm like, shoot, like why haven't I played it? So my more modern one was actually Final Fantasy 16. Because I was like, that's on my backlog. I even purchased it. Did I pre-order it? I don't remember if I pre-ordered it or I bought it very soon after it came out with every intention to like jump into it, and it just didn't happen. So Final Fantasy 16 is on my backlog, but my game from the past that's in my backlog, I'm like, I need to play this. It's wild to me that I haven't played it. There's a lot of games like this, honestly, but this one stood out the most at the moment. Like I think it was like a week and a half ago, I was reading something. Was Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Really?
Never touched it.
Majora's Mask, never played it.
No.
You have wait a minute. You have a 3DS.
Yeah. I mean, it's
There's
on
a remake on 3DS.
There's 3DS. I mean, it's on Switch too, on Switch Online. Like I could play it on there too.
It is, yeah. That's the original ROM, yeah. You can do it that way.
So I have plenty of ways to play this game, and it's just wild to me that I haven't. So that's my game from the past that I'm like, oh shoot, I need to play that. Like it's crazy that I haven't. I love Ocarina of Time. And
quite honestly.
And I don't know, I've heard people argue, like there's some people who are like, hey, Ocarina of Time, like fantastic game, up there with the best of all time, but I don't know, I've heard people lean towards Majora's Mask being like really close. I'm like,
there's a lot of people that like Majora better than Ocarina.
Like, I need to try that one out. So that's my like way back backlog, you know. My shelved games, the game I intend to go back to that I can't believe I haven't, is Baldur's Gate 3. That was one I loved it and played so much of it, but I only got into like a little bit into Act 2, if even at all. I don't even know like if I even got that deep into Act 2. Like I spent like so much time just in like the first act. I think I finally got close to Act 2 and then just fell off because something else came out. And I had every intention of going back to it. It never did, which is wild to me. So Baldur's Gate 3 is one that I need to go back, and I would like to do it sooner than later. I'm waiting for them to add crossplay. They've announced that they're going to do it. Like they announced it back in December, I think, or like the end of November. Because my buddy Sir Prince-A-Lot picked up a PS5 a few weeks ago, and he got Baldur's Gate 3, and he wanted to play. He's like, dude, when are we gonna play? And I was like, oh, this, like, we almost planned a night. We're like, let's do it tonight. Like, meet up at blah blah blah. And then I got looking into it. I'm like, all right, how do you do crossplay? You know, I updated the game on Steam. I haven't played it in a while, so I like updated and got all ready. And then I Googled it, and it's like, oh, they announced crossplay, but they haven't actually implemented it yet.
It's like, not actually
why?
Here
no,
yet.
Dang it. So I had to text and be like, sorry, dude, I know we're gonna play it tonight, but we can't. Really bummed about that. So hopefully they have that soon, but if not, I do need to get back and finish it eventually. Sorry, in the chat I noticed Uncle Gamer said you can pre-order Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the non-deluxe edition, on CD keys for $40. That's pretty good. But I think you're wanting it for PlayStation though, right? You don't want it on for PC.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So that doesn't work for him, but for me, maybe. I mean, I already own it on PS5. I don't need to own it again, but that's a really good price. Uncle Gamer also says Radiant Historia I finally jumped into on my 3DS.
Yeah, let's go, Radiant Historia.
Do you know?
I'm playing it too.
Oh yeah, that's what you mentioned that a few weeks ago, right? Like before we took our break. Yeah. That's awesome. That's so good.
That game rules.
Okay, where are my dropped games? Oh, okay, here's my dropped game. It's not what you think, because I think you're like ready to be heartbroken. I think But I think you are going
I
to be.
feel like you're about to say Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm about to chop you next time I see you.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, well, it's not intentionally Kingdom Hearts 2. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 2 might end up being a dropped game, but it's not on purpose. I'm just stuck, dude. I'm stuck.
Go on.
I don't know. Did you watch my last stream? Basically, I got to a point where I can't go any further because I didn't level my characters up enough. So I'm having to like go back and grind. I'm like, you kidding me? Like, just let me finish the freaking game. Anyways.
Welcome to JRPGs, brother.
No, yeah, I guess so. My biggest gripe with Kingdom Hearts 2, with playing it, it's not the game's fault, but jumping into it, I always say, like, I don't care about the difficulty. Let me just play the game and enjoy the story. And so I was going to do it on easy mode. And then someone in the chat was like, oh, don't do easy mode. At least do normal. You can handle normal. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do normal. And I just got no, I don't think so. I don't remember who it was, but I've just been getting my butt kicked the entire time. I'm like, I should have done easy. I don't know why I listen to any of you guys. Like, everyone knows I'm bad at video games. Okay. I just want to freaking finish Kingdom Hearts 2, but it's so hard. Have a good time. Even on normal. I think this is too hard for me. I'm so bad. Soak7 says, I thought you finished Kingdom Hearts 2. I no, I didn't. I gave up on it. No, I did not give up on it. I think what ended up happening is I got more and more serious and looking for a job. And so those streams stopped, unfortunately. But I still want to finish it. I need to finish it. But I didn't think it was good content to grind on stream, you know, like to be like, just go fighting like waves of stupid little enemies just to level up. So
have you seen the things that people stream? I think you're good.
Yeah, you're right. I probably could, but I didn't feel like it was that exciting. So I'm like, I'll just do it off stream. And then once I'm leveled up, then stream the end of the game. Cause I feel like I'm close. Anyways, no, my actual dropped game is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yep.
I tried it.
For you, that tracks.
I tried it again like last summer? Because I talked about it a few times on our podcast. I was like, started playing on my Steam Deck. I'm like, hey, this might be what gets me to finish Metal Gear Solid 5. It plays really good on Steam Deck. I can play it on the go, you know, blah, blah, blah. You just go through missions. I think I only played like 2 hours of it. And I was like, I can't do anymore. I can't do it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about that game that I just does not.
I think we made the mistake. We should have eased you in with Peace Walker. I think that really should have been like your gateway drug.
Maybe.
And then you would have been ready. You would have been ready for 5.
It's
so
just
that was.
It just blows my mind because I love Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4. Portable Ops was a blast. Even Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is fun in its own way. Like all these other Metal Gear games are phenomenal, but for whatever reason, 5
that
I
is
just
so nuts.
Cannot do. I just don't like. It doesn't feel like a Metal Gear game at all to me. But again, yeah, I haven't played Peace Walker, and you've said before like, oh, well, Peace Walker was kind of like similar gameplay style, but you know, the early kind of like version of it, kind of, you know, in a way.
The prototype.
Yeah, exactly. Soak7 says, except for Survive. Yeah, that's true. That is a terrible.
That's actually Garrett's favorite.
That's actually my number 1. That's top of the list. No.
2? Nah, get that out of
here. Uncle Gamer says Metal Gear Acid is the best Metal Gear fight me. Okay. That's one.
No, I'm not gonna fight you. That's a take.
I don't know if I've
but not a bad one.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever finished Acid, but I played a little bit of it and enjoyed it. I should pull out my PSP. I put it away a long time ago after we did. What did we do? We did
Crisis Core?
Crisis Core. That's what it was. Yeah, Crisis Core that and I played on there. It was fun. Actually, that'd be fun to finish up. Go through Metal Gear Acid. Where was I though? Oh yeah, my drop game, Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll play it and finish it. But I don't know. It's feeling less and less likely as time goes on. We're almost 10. We're almost 10 years from the time it came out, and I still haven't finished it. Right, it was 2015, right? Like,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know. I don't think so. And here's my mental backlog game. This is it's an old game, but they kind of re-released it, kind of updated it last year. And I know you love this series, is Persona 3 Reload.
Okay. All right, we've garnered some interest.
Persona 4 Golden, like both of those. Like they both kind of came out last. They kind of re-released them last year. And like put them out on Steam and stuff like that. So those are.
I will take it.
That's my mental backlog. I haven't bought them yet, but I have every intention of getting through them at some point. I'd love to.
Well, I mean, hopefully I'll be buying them. By March, because the new Switch will be announced and be ready to be coming out by then, and Atlas will be like, okay, finally we can put these games on a console that makes sense for them. And I'll be like, thank you, Atlas, I appreciate that.
Dude, we don't have any like official news stories for this episode. Like we're just talking about like games and stuff. But one of the things I did look at was the amount of leaks in the last like 2 weeks for the new Switch console. It's like
tons.
Nintendo, you're screwing up. Just announce the thing already.
Just put it out.
You're waiting too long, and things are just coming out now. Things are just coming out. You should have been revealed sooner. Oh man, feels bad. Uncle Gamer says, "Man, give me Persona 1 or 2 remakes already when the grind was real."
Ooh. Talk that talk, Uncle Gamer. 1 and 2 don't get enough love.
So yeah, that's it.
1 and 2 do not.
That's it for Ranger's question. Thank you so much for writing in. And I mean, what's nice is this kind of piggybacks. There we go. Put the S in the wrong spot. That piggybacks right into our quote unquote nerdy nude segment. It's not actually news. So do I make you do the jingle or no? Since it's not actual news stories.
I think we save it for actual news.
Okay.
Since this is more of a.
Sorry.
Get back into the flow, hangout version.
Sorry, no nudes for you this week. But this first part here, I want to talk about 2024 games that we missed out on. Games that we wanted to play last year, and either we purchased and just didn't have time to play, or we didn't even purchase at all. But yeah, ones we kind of felt like we missed out on. So I don't know if you want to jump in first, or you want me to share,
or if you want to. I have hang on.
Oh boy.
I should have grabbed this.
Okay. All right.
I should have grabbed it a while ago.
There was a lot of great games that came out last year, more than people give it credit for. I feel like I've heard a lot of conversations about 2024 being a rough year in gaming. I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot of fun stuff. It wasn't like a banger year, but there was still a lot of good stuff.
There was a lot of heat that came out that year.
Like there was enough to keep me busy for the whole year. So there was stuff, you know.
Speaking of,
like Animal Well at the beginning, and I mean just from there, Helldivers 2, like a month or so later, like so much fun stuff. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. What do you got for us?
One of my little, I guess, pseudo resolutions is I wanted to get myself organized and have a consistent like little tracker, I guess. So I got a little notebook and I wrote all the games that I'm wanting to play for this year.
Nice.
All in one go, so I can check them off, right?
Dude.
And then I can review them and kind of keep track of my thoughts and what I thought, little fun blurbs about it.
Yeah, dude, that's legit.
Now, my only thing is some of these are from 2024.
Okay.
Some of them are from before 2024. I'm going to go through and see if I can find the ones that are 2024.
Okay.
And maybe we can go through it that way.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So I guess my first 2024, I've already started it. I've already started it. I'm pretty knee deep in it. Is Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Ooh, yeah. You've been enjoying that one, right?
I've been enjoying it. I am at the still, in the early stages of it. But
it feels like what a modern like Mario and Luigi game would be. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I have been waiting for a little bit more humor to poke through.
Okay.
In the script as of right now. There haven't been a whole lot of like really, really good. There's been one that I remember cracking up at that was really good. But Mario and Luigi usually has a whole lot of jokes like that. That'll, a lot of slapstick or a lot of situational humor. And I haven't gotten a whole lot of it yet, but that's not a bad thing. And I'm still at the beginning, so that could change. But everything else about it is firing on all cylinders. The design is great. The sound is great. Yoko Shimomura, you can't go wrong. She came back to do this one. Her and other composers, of course. Mm-hmm. But the battle system is phenomenal, just as good as the Mario and Luigi game should be. So I really have no qualms with it in that regard. Yeah. So I'm having a blast. I'm gonna keep playing.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. For me, one that I feel like I need to play just because it's like kind of a big tentpole title for Xbox. So this is kind of a big one right off the bat is Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. Okay. That one, I think I had said before, like, I'm not necessarily like stoked to play it. Like that's why I haven't played it yet. Like, I'm not like, oh, I need to play. I need to go get Game Pass right now and play it. Like, I don't have the time for it. I don't have like, and even like the franchise itself. But I feel like that's almost doing a disservice not playing it. Like, okay, Xbox is finally trying. They're finally put out a game.
That's deep.
And it's reviewed, reviewed really well. Like, people are really stoked about it. So I was like, okay, I feel like I need to give it a shot. So then people aren't like, all you do is bag on Xbox. And the one time they put out something good, you're not gonna play. You just keep complaining about it. So I was like, okay, I need to get in there so I can like, talk, and not just be talking out my butt, when I talk about Xbox stuff. But yeah, I mean, people are loving it. People love Troy's performance, the story, the gameplay. I have heard some interesting things though about apparently
spill.
Kind of the best way to play it is to kind of golden path it. I've read that in a couple reviews and like seen some stuff on like Twitter and stuff like that where people are like where you kind of like lose it a little bit and kind of drops points is it has like a little bit open world sections in some areas, but it's almost too obtuse and like it's not fun. So like just golden path it, just play the missions, don't explore basically. Like just do what Indiana Jones is
Don't explore in this exploration game.
Everyone says it doesn't do a great job. At least the few things I've read, it just sounds like they didn't do a good job with that. So everyone's been, what I've seen is kind of like, yeah, just mainline the story. Like it does that experience is a 10 out of 10. Like it starts dropping really quick and, review points as soon as you start exploring. Like they almost didn't like polish that as much as it could or should have been. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I feel like if I'm playing an Indiana Jones game anyways, like that's what I would probably do is just mainline it. Like, I don't know, in my head, I'm surprised they even have those areas where it is kind of like exploring and doing random, like, because I pictured it basically being Xbox's answer to Uncharted, and Uncharted doesn't necessarily have like big open world, like explore now, So the fact that they threw it into indie is kind of like, oh, that is kind of interesting. I mean, it makes sense, but you think about the movies, it's not like they just go off exploring, for like 2 hours while he just wanders around like a jungle, like,
they still do stuff.
Like it's just like, okay, like I just feel like that's the, I don't know. That's just what indie's always been in the movies anyways, that's what makes movies exciting. Movies don't just meander. There's like bang, 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 bang. So it's like, oh yeah,
right.
Let's to be experienced that as a game. Some are saying this is probably like one of the best even stories in the past like couple decades, from Indiana Jones. You know, granted, they were going up against they're going up against Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, which isn't hard to beat. And what was the other one that just came out? So it's not like 2 years ago. I forget what it was even called.
I know, and I even saw it too.
Or was that just last year? I don't even remember.
Good grief. No, I think it was the year before. You could tell me any year and I'd be like, yep, you know what, that tracks.
Soak7 in chat also says, yep, just mainline the story. So yeah, but I am excited to eventually try it. That's a game I feel like is worth jumping into at some point. Adrian, you got another one for us?
I do. My second one.
Sorry, real quick. I do want to say, for those of you who are in the chat, Soak7, Uncle Gamer, whoever's hanging out here, if you got games from last year that you feel like you missed out on, let us know. I can read it here live, and it'll be in the episode. So, you're here. You can be a part of the show. Anyways, go on, Adrian.
You got it. My next one. I don't think this was. I know this was, though. #Blood.
Oh, yeah.
#Blood is one that I played at Day of the Devs.
Yeah.
It is a adventure vampire hunter / beat 'em up / RPG that's animated in the style of like a 90s cartoon. And it is some of the best animation as well as just kind of like art style in general that I've seen in a game in a good little bit of time. I really like the mechanics that they're using here. It really does feel like an exploration, for lack of a better term. I guess you could just say adventure game. You know, you're going to different areas and getting power-ups and fighting enemies and whatnot. Yeah, and they even give you like a little camera so you can take pictures of yourself and make little poses and take pictures with monsters or your friends or stuff like that, and then you upload them into the game's social media feed.
Okay.
And people will comment on it and stuff, like other characters, and you get like requests to help people through your phone, stuff like that. So yeah, no, that game's rad, and I want to go back to it and I want to finish it, and it looks so good on OLED. Good.
I bet. Yeah. Okay.
So that'd be my next one, my next pick.
That's a good one. What should another one that I'd like to get to, but this kind of goes hand in hand with another backlog game, not from last year, is Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yes.
Excuse me. People. I loved.
You never beat Elden Ring Prime, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I need to beat the original game and then get into this. But I loved what I played. Like, I put a ton of time in the Elden Ring. Absolutely adored it. And then I don't know. Initially, when this was coming out, Shadow of the Erdtree, like I was excited, but I'm like, it's just gonna be some little DLC. Is it actually gonna be worth it? But people were losing their minds over this. I mean, it freaking was nominated for Game of the Year, even though it's not even a game, right? So it's like
that'll always be a controversial thing.
So it's like, okay, there's got to be a reason for that, right? Like, it's obviously good. There's something that is incredibly.
It's Elden Ring. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's more Elden Ring.
So I feel like just because of that, I need to bite the bullet at some point and like just get through it. Like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna take me a long time, but it's like, man, like I have some real FOMO with that, because it really is like, oh man, like I know Elden Ring was already good. Like that was a fun game. I didn't have a chance to finish it because again, it's hard. And with having a podcast, it's also hard because like we have a podcast, so you want to like stay up on games. So it's like, all right, I got to put this down to play the next thing, so we have stuff to talk about on the podcast. And maybe I'll get back to it, maybe not. But yeah, the fact that this is absolutely this critically just got, and by the fans, not even just critics, but everyone loved this game. It's freaking lost their mind over it. I'm like, okay, I have some serious FOMO. I need to finish Elden Ring so I can play Shadow of the Erdtree, because everything I've heard and even what I've seen, I've watched some streamers play through some of it. I'm like, oh, it does look sick. It does look like a lot of fun. So maybe one day, I don't know. We'll see. if I actually ever get to it this year. But I do want to pick it up at some point, give it a shot. Let's see. Okay, we got one from Soak7 in the chat. Dragon's Dogma 2. Is that? That's the one that. Oh yeah. That's like the
Capcom.
Yeah, it was almost like, I don't know, everything I saw about it is like almost Baldur's Gate-esque. I feel like it's kind of like the RPG style.
It's their answer to it, yeah.
Yeah, I heard tons of great things for it. It says had every intention of playing it, but the performance made me wait. Yeah, it did have some performance issues at launch, didn't it?
I didn't hear about this.
I feel like I guess I don't know on console specifically. Maybe it's on console, but I feel like I definitely heard like on PC like it struggled. But interesting. I wonder if they've cleared it up by now. I'd be shocked if they didn't. That came out pretty early in the year, didn't it? Or like in the summer? Because I don't remember.
I want to say like mid-year maybe.
Yeah. Like
July, somewhere around there.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I honestly, again, when that was first announced and even before it came out, I wasn't really excited about Dragon's Dogma 2. But after it came out and just seeing like the cool characters people were making and like kind of like when Baldur's Gate 3 came out and like people are just posting like crazy clips of things happening and stuff. I'm like, okay, that kind of looks like a fun game, you know? It's like, all right, I might need to check that out.
I can do this.
Yeah. Adrian, you got anything else from 2024 that you feel like?
My good man. I mean, you kind of touched on it too, but I'll reiterate. Oh, actually, I got a good one. Metaphor ReFantasio.
Oh yeah.
The newest game from the core Persona team.
I've only heard
over at Atlas.
Only heard good things.
I have heard nothing but exceptional things about this game. I expect no less from the Prime Persona team. So it doesn't surprise me at all that this game is as good as it was. Again, I'm waiting for it to come out on the actual intended console it's supposed to be on. And I will pick it up there and I will play it and I'm sure I will love it to death. But that is another one that I am waiting on, waiting for them to get rocking. But everybody's waiting on a certain hardware company to go ahead and show their wares so we can get this show on the road.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one that I feel like I have a little FOMO because of how much people just like lost their minds over it. Like when it was first announced, I'm like, the name seems weird. Like it's like I don't know what is it even talking about? What is happening? I know it's from the people who make Persona, but like, is it connected to Persona? Is it not? Honestly, anytime they showed like gameplay and stuff, I'm like, this looks like Persona, which isn't a bad thing, but I was just like, I guess I was more just confused by the marketing. Like, what is this? What is going on here? But then like once I started seeing more gameplay and like hearing people talk about it, I'm like, oh no, this game kind of sounds like it rocks, honestly. Like,
and it turns out it does.
Turns out it does. That one might be up there for me as well. Like I said before, like I have Persona 3 and 4 and 5. Yeah, I have 3 other Persona games I'd like to get through as well. I have 300 hours of other Persona games I need to play first before honestly, I touch that.
If it's those games, fantastic problem to have. Fantastic problem to have. Imagine if you had like 300 hours of, I don't know what, like Gollum or something. Then what?
300 hours of Gollum. Honestly.
I mean, I'm just trying to put things into perspective for you.
Oh man, if I ever quit the podcast, I think that's what I would do. I'd just turn and become a Gollum streamer and just
you'd be the only one. That'd be your niche for sure. You would have a market of 3 people.
I've never played it and I know it's terrible, but you know, Video Games a Comedy Show gave it Game of the Year last year. Did you hear about that? 2020?
Yeah, they sure did.
2023.
I don't want to bring it up because it's a hurtful memory.
Which, by the way, we didn't mention at the beginning of this episode, but we were on the 2024 game of the year. This year's Gollum did not win this year.
Thank goodness.
But you should go watch, listen to part 1 and 2. What's up? Connor's in the chat actually says, "Sup, my boys? Have fun on the pod."
What's going on, my guy?
Connor and Jeremy and the crew. Oh, so many fun people. There were shenanigans.
All those funny people keep having our unfunny selves back, and I'm just like, man.
I know.
What did we do to get friends like those?
I know. It's always like so weird sitting there and being like, these are a lot of funny people, and then there's us just there, just existing.
We're just here because we know games.
But we're thankful.
Not funny,
we're thankful.
But we're here.
Thankful they have us. It was a good time. I might have gaslit July, or maybe I gaslit myself. I don't know. You'll have to listen to the podcast and let me know, because honestly, I don't know. I don't remember. All I remember, I tell you what,
July is a genius though, so he might have been playing you the entire time. You didn't even know it.
I
think about
I
that.
I haven't had a chance to even like talk to you about this, or even like Jeremy or Connor or anything, but like afterwards I was thinking about it, like it was just so wild. Like it was just sprung on me. Spoilers, I guess, not really, because it's like happened in the first 5 minutes of the episodes, but I don't even think they talk about it. It happened like right before, like they're getting ready to hit record, right? So we're getting ready to hit record on part 1 of Game of the Year. They're like, "Oh wait, we need someone to track vetoes. Garrett, you seem like an honest person. Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "What? Okay."
What? Sure, okay.
So
I'll figure it out.
So, rushing to like open up my notes app, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, okay, I'll try to keep track of them, I guess. I have no idea. Like, this isn't my show. Like, this isn't my system. I didn't sit down and
I don't know how this works.
I didn't sit down and make the rules with you, and I've only done 1 year of this. I don't know what's happening. And then towards the end of the episode, there might have been a little tension between me and July. Maybe I miscounted. Maybe he miscounted. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe miscounts were made on purpose.
Maybe they're made on purpose. But definitely go listen to part 1 and then tell me if I was right or July was right, because I'm still curious to this day, and I haven't had the energy to relive.
It's been heavy on your mind all break.
It has been, honestly. It just keeps coming up. Like, oh, dang it. Did I gaslight July, or did accidentally, or did I gaslight? Like, who is right, or was I right the whole time? I don't know. No one knows. Oh man, good times. Go check it out.
Too late. It's already in the history books now.
Video Games, a Comedy Show, 2024 Game of the Year, part 1 and 2 are both out. So,
love those rascals.
It was good stuff. I forgot how we even got on that topic. Oh, Gollum. We were talking about Gollum.
Yeah, we were talking about Gollum.
Soak7 in chat says Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is a one a lot of people overlooked, but is really good. Yeah. That just came out last year.
Blue. I think so.
Okay.
Korean Blue Fantasy.
There's probably more games that I'm not thinking of. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't actually do my homework. I don't have a list like Adrian does. But
my list wasn't for the it just happened to work out for the show. It's
I know. Your list wasn't even for the show either, but it is helpful. But one other game that I feel like I really want to play is The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Me too.
Where you finally get to play as Zelda.
As Zelda in the Zelda game. What a concept.
What a concept. Although I forget who was talking about it, but someone mentioned that even in the Zelda game, in order to like fight things as combat, like you still have to
turn into Link.
You still have to turn into Link.
I noticed that.
Like you couldn't just give her spells to like, shoot like a magic
offensive spells.
like a fireball or like a magic missile to shoot at someone. Like, no, you still just turn into Link. Like, oh my gosh. It's hilarious. It's so wild. But
what did you think? They were going to let a woman fight? Huh?
But I mean, everything else I've seen about the
age?
game. Yeah. Everything else I've seen in the game, though, like looks phenomenal. Like, I love that art style. It's such a fun art style. They used it with, what was the other game that the remake?
Link's Awakening.
Yeah, Link's Awakening. I don't know. It looks like a cute little game. I want to try that one.
I think it's going to be a fun time. That is also again another one that I'm waiting for to come onto the console it should have been on, so that it runs at a smooth 60.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things that I heard about it was that it has a little bit of the same issues that Link's Awakening had, where in some areas it can have a pretty good dip, but because it's using the same engine, so it makes sense that it would run into those same issues. But yeah, no, I'm stoked for that one. And it sounds like from what I've read in the reviews that everybody's like, yeah, it's pretty good. So I'll take it. I'll take that.
Heck yeah. Like I said, I think that's kind of it for 2025, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. Those are kind of like the big ticket items, at least. Anything else you want to share from 2024? Or are you feeling pretty good?
Hang on, just double checking.
Ooh, 2025,
Oh.
2025.
Balatro.
Oh, yeah, dude, you gotta play Balatro.
Did not get a chance to play Balatro last year.
That's such...
I need to right that wrong.
Such a fun game. This is back to the Video Games, a Comedy Show Game of the Year discussion. Someone did kind of mention one of the reasons they didn't like it is because it kind of felt soulless was the word they used. And I will kind of like, I'll give them that a little bit. Like, it is just...
Can you explain?
What's that?
Can you explain that
Yeah,
take?
Yeah. So that's what I was just gonna say. Like, I'll give it to them. Like that comment. Like, it's kind of partially true, but like not that. I don't think that necessarily taints the entire. It doesn't have to taint the entire experience. So, and I think what they were trying to get at. The only thing I can think of what they meant by that is so many other, like a lot of other deck building games. I don't know about all of them. I'm not going to say that because I haven't played a lot of them. But I know some of them. And like, I'll just give an example, like Inscription. A lot of deck building games, they will try to implement some sort of story. Like, there's a reason you're doing this. There's a story. In Balatro, at least from the hours and hours I put into it, there's not a story. You're just playing a game. It is just gameplay.
I thought that was the thing though. Like, that was the understanding that everybody had, is like, no, there's no story to this. It's just fun, a twist on poker. No? Yeah,
and exactly. And like, if you go into it knowing that, it's a blast. Like, I loved it. I loved every second of it and wanted to, think about playing more all the time. And a lot of people felt the same way. That's why I also was nominated for Game of the Year, which is crazy. Right. But I think if you're used to other deck building games that have the story, like Inscription, or I guess I don't know if Slay the Spire does. I guess I just always assumed it did from what I've seen, but I don't know for sure. Like other games though, where there's like deck building and stuff like that, that kind of general genre of game, I think it's not uncommon, at least, to have some sort of reason for doing things where literally this game is like, this is it. It's just the game. Like, you just, play until you can't play anymore. Like, there is an end, I think, like a canonical end, but I don't think it necessarily like credits roll kind of thing. It's just kind of like, oh, you've made it to a certain point, and that's technically where the end of the game is, but like gameplay just kind of continues. So yeah, I think that's what that person might have been coming from when they said that, with it being soulless. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, if you're looking for like another reason to connect with this, I don't know if you're going to find it. But if you're looking for an extremely enjoyable deck building, poker-like, roguelike deck building game, like, this game is phenomenal. Like, it has so many cool mechanics in there, from like Joker cards to planet cards to like there's all sorts of cool little hidden secret things that you're always constantly discovering, that it's just a blast to discover and explore. So yeah, it's a good one. I like it. I love it. All right. Well, that's it for 2024. let's get into 2025 and talk about some games we're looking forward to this year. I guess I was gonna say next year, but it's 2025 now.
This is it.
This is it. I feel like I just gotta say it right now because we're all thinking it and everyone's just waiting for me to say it. But Death Stranding 2, didn't they say supposed to be 2025?
Well,
We'll see.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. I was gonna say, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure.
Kojima is working on 80 things at the same time.
That's true. That's true.
Anything can slip.
He
May intend for it to come out.
Yeah, I saw like a tweet he put out, kind of like a year-end like recap tweet. Did you see that? Where he's kind of like, he's working on the Death Stranding movie, and he's working on OD, and he's working on, apparently, even though he said he's when they first announced it, he's like, oh, we're not going to work on Fizzant until Death Stranding 2 and OD are done. Like, we're going to wait until...
No, you have to do something on Fizzant. You have to have something to show the stockholders.
But
you're gonna do something on Fizzant.
He's working on stuff. Even though he said he wasn't going to, he's like, in this tweet, he's like, yeah, we've been working on this and working on that. He's like, he had so much stuff they're working on, which is insane. Although a lot of that it's on hold because of the actors strike, the SAG-AFTRA strike, which I didn't realize that was still going on. I knew, because I thought, didn't they work out a deal, or is this a new one that came up?
I think this is a separate one, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I missed that somehow. But yeah, when I read all that, I'm like, oh no, please don't delay Death Stranding 2, please. But man, I'm so stoked.
Yeah, think about the workers, think about the actors. If it's for their benefit, it's fine.
No, I agree, but it's, I don't know. I just feel like with Death Stranding, I remember us getting a lot more marketing. There's a lot more trailers beforehand. And with Death Stranding is coming out this year, we just haven't gotten much of anything, which has me kind of worried. Like the fact that we haven't gotten, because by the time Death Stranding came out, we had a handful of trailers to everyone was pouring over. I remember on the show, on our podcast, me coming in with a notebook, all right, here's all the crazy stuff I found. I wonder what it means.
Here's the frame by frame for today.
Exactly. I was going literally frame by frame in these trailers, finding hidden things in there, and people all over were and had all these crazy theories. And Death Stranding 2, we've gotten one trailer, and then he showed off the photo mode.
A new cut.
He showed off the photo mode basically. It's just oh, okay. We need more trailers.
Which honestly was pretty cool, right?
It was cool.
He kind of made it it's an actual photo shoot. They just kind of stand around and almost doing idle poses.
Yeah.
Like they would at a shoot, waiting for you to take the next picture.
Right.
I thought that was pretty sweet.
No, it's cool, but I don't know. I'm just so stoked about the story. I'm give me some more weird story trailers that aren't going to make any sense until we play the game. Totally give me some out of context just moments in this game, so we can just entice us, get us all excited for it. But so we're not getting it. He's holding out on us, and I don't like it. Don't like it one bit.
When was it originally slated for, or do we just have 2025?
I think it just said 2025. It's just a year. There is no time window. It's just 2025. Which the first one came out in November. So this one can come out around the similar time, or if there's trouble, then it could conveniently get pushed into next year pretty easily, if it's in that time slot. So we'll see. Adrian, what about you though? What's a big game 2025 you are excited for, other than Donkey Kong Country Returns HD? I know you're just champing at the bit for that one.
Yeah, I'm ready to play that one for the third time. A big one for me, I think, is probably still South of Midnight.
Oh, is that's
slated to come out this week?
2025
or this year? I believe so.
Oh, dude, yeah, that game looks sick.
That game has looked good from the trailer, the initial trailer, to the preview that they had at the Xbox event where they showed the gameplay. The gameplay looked interesting. Yeah, I'm loving everything about that game from the top to the bottom. And I really want to just play it. I wish they would put out some kind of a demo or something, so that we can get a taste of it.
My only fear with this game is I've loved everything they've put out, like the trailers and the gameplay and stuff like that. I thought it all looked incredible. But I remember when the gameplay one came out, there's a lot of hate on the internet about the way it looked. Like, oh, I couldn't imagine playing a whole game like that, like playing it, the weird frame rate, because basically it's animated similar to it's animated similar to kind of like a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse kind of thing. And people are like, oh, basically you're just playing a game at like 15 frames per second. That sounds horrible, But it's only your character that has that frame rate. The world around you is 60. Exactly. So like for me, like I'm stoked. I think it looks gorgeous. Like I think it's going to be it's definitely interesting artistically, and it can bring in some cool gameplay stuff. But my fear is like with all like the hate that popped up on the internet, like we haven't gotten an update in a while. So I'm like, oh, I hope they don't like change stuff just because of all the internet hate, like then it's like, oh wait, this isn't what we wanted. This isn't what was originally announced. I mean, it's what the haters wanted, but so I just hope they don't cave. That's my biggest thing. I hope it comes out
Compulsion exactly doesn't seem like that kind of studio.
Exactly what they want. I don't want them to give in. Like, no, make the game you want to make, because so far it's looking sick.
Yep.
But
that's the game I want to play, is the game that you're advertising right now. If you change it, I would be very disappointed. Especially if it's if you change it for artistic vision, if you're like, hey, we thought we had something, but it wasn't working out. Okay. Happens all the time. What's your new thing about, right? What's your new take on it? But if you're changing it because you're worried about what some, I don't know, just troll groups or weirdos are saying about it, that would be really disappointing.
Yeah.
But like I said, Compulsion doesn't seem like the kind of team that would concern themselves with something like that. So let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah. Boom. All right. Death Stranding 2, South of Midnight.
I almost feel like I have to pull up a little calendar of what's coming out this year major.
Yeah, I actually was just bringing one up here as well. But I mean, we're getting Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yep.
That's soon, isn't it? Like February or something? Yeah, February 28th.
I was gonna say March, I think.
February 28th.
There we go.
That is.
And I will be there. I will be there for it.
Coming soon.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
And you'll be there too.
Yes. Unless I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, which comes out a couple weeks before, 14th.
Oh, that's right.
That game also looks sick. I know people are...
Another game that caused quote-unquote discourse.
So bonkers crazy. Yeah, I hope it's a good Assassin's Creed, because I know like Mirage came out and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. It was just kind of like, it was just kind of like fine. Like, okay, it's better than what's been coming out, but still not great. So I'm like, I hope they can nail it with Shadows. That'd be so sick. But I don't know. I'm afraid it's just gonna get like review bombed just because of the controversy it's already had. People are just gonna come out and be like, it's, whatever. I'm a dummy and I'm gonna give this game a bad score.
Real samurai. Yeah. Even though the Japanese historians were like, actually, dude was right here in the book. We have it right here in our country. That he came to. Yeah. That he was in. That we would know that guy. Yeah. No, he was here.
Yeah, he's in the history books. We got him.
He's in the history books, actually.
Man. Oh, Avowed comes out on the 18th, right? And
that's right.
I am at this point. I'm not.
Are you worried?
I'm not. This is gonna sound terrible. I am not excited at all about Avowed.
Really? Not in the slightest?
I'm not, or I shouldn't say not excited, but like nothing about it is enticing to me.
Wow.
But
Didn't you like New Vegas though?
I love New Vegas.
Did you play
I think that's the thing. I love New Vegas. fantastic game.
Uh-huh.
But it's the fantasy setting I think throws me off a little bit. Because like Elder Scrolls have never been into. And
Also nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else has Obsidian made.
Outer Wilds. They made that.
Outer Worlds. Yeah, Outer Worlds. I know got great.
Outer Worlds,
got great scores. Like got 9 out of 10 on GameSpot here. But I just never. I don't know if I ever even gave that one a chance. But that one like didn't strike me as like super exciting either. So it's like I don't know. Something about their New Vegas was great, but there are other things they've made. It's just kind of like, like I don't know. It's never been super exciting to me. So it's just hard. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But this one being fantasy has kind of thrown me off too, because that's not really my thing. But I don't know. I need to sit down. I need to sit down and maybe watch some trailers, because I feel like didn't they come out with like a gameplay trailer a couple months ago? I think I missed it. I don't think I actually watched that. I heard about it and didn't watch it. So maybe I need to like do a deep dive and kind of do some more research on that. But I don't know. We'll see.
I think that would benefit.
We got a question from Soak7 Plays in the chat. They ask, do you guys think we'll get Metroid Prime 4 this year?
Yeah, it's going to be a Switch 2 launch title.
Do you think so? Because the last we heard about it was coming out in 2024, and it just quietly got delayed. Like they didn't even announce they delayed it. They just like it just never came out. So
let me give you two scenarios. One, it's a launch title for Switch 2 and a cross-gen title for Switch 1. Or two, it's not it's a cross-gen title, but it's going to come within the launch. Do I want to say window or year? I'm going to say launch year.
Okay.
For Switch 2, and it'll still be a cross-gen title. It'll be like one of the last hurrahs for the original Switch, and it'll be one of the titles where you can clearly see the difference between Switch 1 and Switch 2.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, it being like, you know, doing the side by Digital Foundry doing the side by side. It's like how it's like absolutely superior in every way, like frame rate and, you know, crispness, like resolution, all this stuff.
Things, objects on screen, all of that.
Yeah, I can see that. Soak7 says, yeah, Twilight Princess cross-gen route sounds super plausible. Yeah.
Oh yes, Twilight Princess. Imagine a Twilight Princess remake on Switch 2.
That's one I played a little bit of because my friend had it on Wii. We never owned it, but my friend did. I remember enjoying what I played. It was a good time.
Do I need to ship you my game? No, you have a Wii.
I have a Wii. I do have a Wii. I think it's on there. I just haven't given it a chance again.
Get your Wii. Get the GameCube version on your Wii. Don't play the Wii version.
Oh, really? GameCube version over Wii version?
GameCube version is where it's at. That's when it was originally a GameCube game, and they just stuffed motion controls on it.
Okay. Well, in that case, I don't even need to pull out my GameCube. I'll just play it on my Steam Deck. There we go. Because I got the
you could.
Got the emulator on there. Did you know Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 coming out next year? Apparently, did you play chapters 1 and 2
next year, as in this year?
Or yeah, this year. Yeah, 2025.
No, I didn't know that. I've been waiting forever for 3 and 4.
That's what this GameSpot article says. It doesn't have it just says 2025. It doesn't have a date, but
that's fine. As long as we have this year, I'll be okay. 1 and 2 were so good.
How do you feel about Doom: The Dark Ages?
I think it's gonna rip. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Did you see the gun? Did you see the gun that uses crushed up enemy skulls as ammo?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Do you understand how metal that is?
I know that is
so awesome.
Like the other, I love how like Doom 1 or Doom and then Doom Eternal, like oh man, like these games are so metal, so crazy, so rock and roll, so just like violent, over the top, just blowing everything up, you know. And then I love how like this new Doom, whatever it's called, Doom the Dark Ages, the trailer is just kind of like hold my beer. Like it's just cranked up to 11.
Quite literally.
Like everything is cranked to 11. Like this is insane. It's just like,
hey, you know how cool the Doom guy is? What if we put him in a giant mech of his own suit and made him fight giant demons?
What if?
Come on.
What if?
Let's do
what
this.
If the Doom guy is like 100 times cooler and the weapons are 100 times more crazy and the games is 100 times more violent and gory and brutal and just like, okay,
let's take it to the max. You thought it was at 11 already. Now we're taking it up to 12.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I'm not super like stoked. This is another one. I'm like, I could care less. But I didn't love the Doom or Doom Eternal. Like they were fine. Really? They were fine games, but I was kind of like, I don't know. They didn't strike my fancy at all. So this is one I'm not super excited about. It looks sick. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, right. I'm not even going to spend money on it because I know I'm probably never going to play it, kind of thing.
Also, yeah, you know how the Doom games get, where like after a while they'll be, you can get them for a song pretty much. Mm-hmm. No, this one looks very promising. It's id, so I'm not surprised. They make nothing but bangers always. Well, I mean, I guess you can argue for Rage, but yeah, I know it's gonna be rock solid as far as performance, and they love tweak. That's like that's their thing. If you want a game that runs like butter, you go see id.
Yep.
Which is why I don't know why Xbox for their shooters is not going to see id when they own id. What are you doing? You have the kings of FPS performance right there, and you don't use them.
Yeah.
But no. Doom looks awesome. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be a great game, just like the other two, in my opinion. So, and honestly, I hope this is the last one because I want it to be a nice trilogy. You can put them all in a box together and be like, this is this era's Doom trilogy.
Yep.
Now we have original Doom 1, 2, and 3, and now we have this Doom 1, 2, and 3. You know?
Yeah.
Be a nice end cap. You don't want to overstay your welcome. I think this is a good finale in the series. In this iteration of Doom.
Yeah, I feel that I could see that, them kind of like end capping it for a while. Be like, all right, we're not going to get another one for a while now. Kind of
right.
either until we
wants to work on something else.
Either until we pass the torch or kind of revamp it again down the road. Whatever that looks like. I'm scrolling through this list. Fable apparently is 2025.
I doubt that highly. I doubt that very highly.
Yeah.
I do not see that game coming out in 2025.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's game's already been like, rumored for years, right? It's almost like every year they're kind of like Fable, maybe Fable, like so.
Fable, possibly. Fable?
Although, like, is there a reason? Like, did they announce it could come out in 2025? Like, is that something that I'm just forgetting? Like, it was in a trailer or no?
I don't remember seeing 2025 in the trailer, but also I just don't believe that it's gonna come out.
Okay, so as of June
2025.
As of June 2024, Playground Games says Fable 4 has been given a ballpark release window of 2025. A ballpark release window of an entire year means it's probably not coming out that year.
That's exactly what that means.
That's a lot of wiggle room there. That's wild. That's funny. Yeah, Fable's one of those. Even though it's
Gary, don't tell me you hate Fable.
What I was gonna say.
Nobody hates Fable.
What I was gonna say is I've never played a Fable game.
Okay, that's better than saying I hate Fable because nobody hates Fable.
I've never played a Fable game. And generally, as I was just talking about earlier, I'm not a fantasy RPG person, but from everything I've seen of this franchise from previous games and trailers from this game, I'm like, all right, now this could possibly be up my alley. Like the humor being thrown in there kind of is winning me over, honestly, which is funny because usually like I'm not necessarily looking for humorous video games in that way. But this, for some reason with that, I'm like, oh, okay, I could get behind that for whatever reason.
Right.
So
now I will tell you that that's like a hallmark of the Fable series. Is it's funny too.
I know.
On top of
I know.
being a good RPG.
I know. I've heard that. I've seen it. Like I've seen like people play it, like videos online. I'm just like, I don't know why I've never played this series, but maybe this will be the year. If it actually comes out this year, maybe I'll try it.
Which again, I don't think it will, but
yeah, it'd be, yeah, a miracle, honestly. Ghost of Yate? I feel like I'm saying that wrong.
Is that this year?
It's supposedly 2025, at least on this list. Let me double check that. I need to finish Ghost of Tsushima first. I put a good chunk of time into that one and never finished it. That's one of my shelved games that I got good ways into and enjoyed and never finished. Yeah, according to PlayStation blog, granted you can't believe everything they say either. They also said Abandon was coming out like 4 years ago, never did. That game doesn't even exist anymore. That game doesn't even exist anymore. They also said Metal Gear Solid Delta was coming out last year. That didn't come out.
Oops.
But yeah, it says coming in 2025. PlayStation blog. Sucker Punch's latest adventure. But yeah, this game, they haven't showed a ton, but what they've shown, I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like Ghost of Tsushima was amazing. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. This looks like a new area, like a new region of Japan, featuring a character voiced by Erika Ishii. I'm down. All this says, like, this is all good. There's nothing bad about this and it's Sucker Punch.
It's up my alley.
Sucker Punch is phenomenal. So, if you have anything you want to play, just spit it out there. I just know you were kind of struggling to come up with stuff before, but if you were thinking anything before I say it, go ahead and throw it out there.
No, I'm so far you've been on the list.
Little Nightmares 3.
See, this is where we needed JJ to just start popping off right now.
I mean, honestly, I'm stoked for Little Nightmares 3 as well.
I think I texted him when that announcement came out, and I was like, dude, are you sitting down?
Oh, man. That game, I mean, those games are phenomenal. Like, those were such a fun time to do those for book club a few months, I guess a couple years ago. That was as crazy as that long ago. Fantastic games. So 3 I'm really excited about. But you know what I'm really like even more excited for is the other one. So because Little Nightmares 3 is being made by a new studio, or not a new studio. It's the same studio that did 2.
A new team. A different team.
Little Nightmares, well, let me see. Little Nightmares.
The original Little Nightmares team is working on something else.
Let me double check. Okay, you're right. So yeah, Little Nightmares 3 is being made by Supermassive Games. That's the people who made Until Dawn, stuff like that. Yeah, Until Dawn, Dark Pictures Anthology,
Dark Pictures,
all that stuff.
Universe.
So Little Nightmares 3 must be the IP was sold to Bandai Namco. They now own it. But the original studio that did Little Nightmares 1 and 2 is making a new game called Reanimal. And remember that when they announced that? And
yes,
it's basically
like
gameplay wise, it's like, oh, this looks like just Little Nightmares, but it's upcoming survival horror video game, but it's like actually scary. Like Little Nightmares is like creepy and weird. Reanimal is supposed
Little Nightmares got scary at times.
It got scary at times. Yeah, you're right. It got scary at times. But Reanimal is, from everything I've seen from the marketing and like interviews and stuff like that, like, no, this is supposed to be like actually scary. Like they're going on, like this isn't like Little Nightmares you could get by with like maybe like playing with like older kids. Like Reanimal is like, no, we're just going full horror. Like this is gonna be,
bring it on.
I'm like, okay,
Bring it on.
I'm in. Using Unreal Engine 5, it's gonna be absolutely terrifying. But yeah,
I'll see you there.
Developed by Tarsier Studios, published by THQ Nordic. But as far as I know, there's no date on that at all, which is a bummer.
That's fine. It'll be here. When
It's supposed to be
here.
co-op too. That's kind of cool. So Reanimal, it's a co-op horror adventure game. Play as a brother and sister. So you go through hell to rescue.
If it was 3 people, you know who we got to get.
Yeah, right.
You know who we got to get.
You go through hell to rescue their missing friends. Wild. But yeah, Little Nightmares 3. Of course, we're excited for that. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is on this list. We already talked about that. Monster Hunter Wilds. Already talked about that.
Talked about that one.
NASCAR 25. You ready for that new NASCAR game? I'm kidding.
Yeehaw, brother.
Woo!
I'm ready to turn to the left sometime.
Boogity, 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 boys.
Here we go.
Pokemon Legends ZA.
ZA
is supposedly.
Yeah, we have no idea what this is, except it's supposed to be like related to Gen 6, which is like X and Y.
Well,
so
I assume it's going to be.
All we know is because it takes place in Kalos.
I assume it's going to be similar gameplay to Arceus, because that was Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is Pokemon Legends ZA. So yeah, we know the region. The gameplay is probably going to be similar to that, which I'm down for because Arceus was amazing. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to me. We don't have a date on that, but it does say 2025. I just Googled it.
That's so interesting that they're doing a Zygarde game. I didn't think he was that kind of a legendary, I didn't think it was that kind of a legendary worthy of like a game being made about it, but here we are. So
yeah. What's fun for me with these games is like these are all gens that I didn't play when they came out because I didn't have a DS or 3DS or anything like that. So like even Arceus, I was kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. There's so many Pokemon. I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon new in there, which is nice, but there's also a lot of ones I'm like, oh, these are all new to me. I've never seen these guys. What's going on here? And I'm excited with this one because it's probably going to be a lot of the same of that, more of that as well, where it's like, I don't know who these people are, but I don't know. It's kind of a cool introduction to them. Like, yeah, it's not them playing the mainline game, but it's in like these little, I just love the gameplay. Like Arceus was so fun. Legends Arceus was so cool. That I hope they keep a lot of that type of gameplay in this, where it's like,
I'm just wondering how they're going to do it in the city like that, but I mean, I guess that's not my job to design. So
I mean, it might be like you're in the city at certain times, but then you go out into the wilds to, just like in Legend Arceus, like you go back to town, do your thing. It's all open world, go in any of the houses, just like explore everything, but then head out into the forest or whatever, go catch some Pokemon. That's gonna be fall game for sure, right? On the Switch 2. It says Switch, but that's a Switch 2 game, right?
It's a Switch 2 game. Well, it's a Switch 2. It's a cross-gen game. I won't say it's a Switch game or a Switch 2 game. There's too many Switches to not make that a cross-gen game. And Game Freak, I'll say executive staff and shareholders are so greedy that there's no way that they wouldn't let it be just a Switch 2 game. Nintendo would have to foot the bill themselves in order for it to be a Switch 2 game, and for them to so whatever revenue they would have lost, that Game Freak would have lost letting Pokemon ZA be a cross-gen title, they would have had to probably pay out, because Game Freak is like, no, we're not taking a loss on this one. Now, the only thing I would think of is maybe this is a cross-gen title, but the next full-on Gen 10 Pokemon, that's definitely going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, because that is going to move so many units.
Totally.
If it's only on Switch 2. If I'm Nintendo and they're like, we tell you, hey, can we only put this on Switch 2? And Game Freak is like, yeah, but you're going to have to make up the cost. I'm writing a blank check, because I know for a fact that game is going to go crazy on Switch 2.
I mean, that's been the track record for the entire franchise as well. Like, they've never released a mainline game on multiple like consoles like that, like cross-gen. So if they did do cross-gen, that would be a first for them, and I don't think they would. Like, I think that's with mainline games.
You would say that, but then there are also 150 million Switches out there. So, pros, cons, weigh your options.
Yeah. That's true. But the reason there's 150 million Switches out there is because of games coming out on Switch and sticking to Switch, you know? Like, it's, you know,
Right.
Which I know a lot of the Switch games are supposed to be compatible with Switch 2 and whatnot, but Nintendo's usually pretty good about when there's a new generation, we're sticking with a new generation.
We're cutting you off, kid.
They're not like PlayStation who says it and then doesn't actually do it, you know. Nintendo actually does it. They're just like, man, we're done. And the eShop's probably
quite literally.
and the eShop's going to be shut down.
I was going to say, and eShop closed.
Yeah, eShop closed within 3 years. 5 if you're lucky. Yeah, but all right. Well, that's the end of my list. I don't see anything else that, you know, obviously these are mostly big game titles. There's probably a ton of indies that we're missing out on, but we will definitely be talking about them later on. Like as they come out this year, that's what we do. Just watch our show.
100%.
We'll talk more about these games. Those are just some of the big titles that we're looking forward to in 2025. Man, we went long on this one. Normally we do an ad. Normally do what you plan, but we are already over an hour and a half into this, Adrian. How are you feeling? Do we want to button it up and just be like, hey, you know what? This is just a little. This is
a catch-up episode. This is not our regular format.
Or because I'm fine with that. This has been a lot of content for the folks at home and for us, so I'm fine with cutting it early because honestly. I had a couple games I played, a couple movies I watched, but I can always talk about them later. That's the great thing about having a podcast. Is
That's true. We
every
always
week
have
to come back and talk
week,
about it.
Another show, and it's our show. We can do whatever we want at the end of the day. So,
all right,
but yeah, all right. Let's tie this one up.
Okay, we're calling it surprise. I know this episode was a surprise altogether because normally I do show notes on Sunday, and this not only did I put the show notes out on Monday, like Monday morning, like surprise, we're doing an episode tonight, but hey, we're changing it up on the fly. But you know what? We had a lot of fun stuff to talk about, and it's good to be back and just hang out. So tune in next time to hear more about what we didn't get to on this show, because we definitely will be getting to it eventually. Thank you all so much for listening and hanging out with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. We didn't get to it during, the show. We didn't do an ad break, but I'll mention it again. Patreon.com/SuperGamerBoys. You can head over there and support us. We would love it. Some of the perks you get are getting episodes early and ad-free, such as this show. Right after we finish recording on Monday evenings, I get it edited and uploaded to the Patreon for you folks to enjoy. So support us over there to get it early. Otherwise, you got to wait till Wednesday like everyone else. But when you wait, you can make sure to subscribe and watch over on YouTube, and also check us out on podcast apps. I think we're pretty much on all of them. Any podcast app, search for Super Gamer Boys. We're on there. If we're not, let us know, because then we can figure out how to get on there. But we're everywhere. If you want audio, video, all the places. Follow us, please. sgbstore.com. You can support us that way as well. If you're like, I don't know if I can commit to, $1, $5, $10, $15 a month on Patreon, but I'd buy some merch from you. Go over to sgbstore.com, buy some t-shirts. We got sweatshirts. We got coffee mugs. We got all sorts of stuff. Hey, I know it's January 6th and it's technically the middle of winter, but we still got summer collection up there, all right? Go get your stuff ready for the next summer. We can just change it from
It's that good. We just left it up. It's that
we
good.
can change it from 2024 summer collection to the 2025 summer collection. You just
invert the colors. We'll pull a blizzard.
Exactly. We got a lot of fun stuff over there. Make sure you go check it out for sure. Rate and review us where you can. Apple Podcast, Spotify. Drop those 5 stars. Leave a little review. We'd appreciate it. Shout out to Jack, Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. Find them over on Apple Music and Spotify. Show them some love. Show them some support. You can find us during the week over at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I am on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can the fine folks find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere on the internet at Homeboy.
All right, and with that, we're out. Adrian, do you mind taking us away?
I sure don't. Folks, thank you for hanging out with us for another episode of the Super Gamer Boys podcast. As always, any and all forms of support are appreciated, whether that's listening here or to the live stream with us, listening to the audio podcast, telling a friend, watching the VODs, buying the merch. It all supports us and helps us to continue to do what we love to do, and that is sit here with you and with each other and talk shop about video games and hang out. We love you. We hope we had a fantastic holiday break, as it seems like we did. We are back to our regularly scheduled programming starting this next week, and we will see you then. And until next time, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
Not a bad episode, man. I love these ones where we get to do whatever we want. You know what I mean?
I love it.
They're few and far between, but they're always nice to come back to.
Maybe it needs to be a regular thing. Maybe that's a 2025 New Year's resolution, like once a month or like every 6 weeks. We just have a free for all where we just do whatever we want. Like screw the listeners.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.